Hey, 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 hey. What up, Facebook? It's Mojo. I'm back from my 9 o'clock and got some coffee because I can't function without it. So, been a few days, right? I said I was gonna talk about polyamory versus monogamy on maybe it was Thursday or Friday, but I had some technical difficulties with the homie I was riding with, so I let that go. But anyway, so I decided to get to work early so I could be in the back. Peace, Justin. How are you? And do what I do. So, um, when I made the post, so this is what I'm gonna call, like, can y'all hear me all right? This is what I'm gonna call like the pre-show, right? Because we really can't get deep into this discussion in like the 45 minutes or whatever before I go into work. So, just like a quickie. Quickies are good. About just the differences. Like when I made the post the other day, I was trying to find somebody that I want to come on to do the show in like an interview type of style but when I did the post, I said the person needs to be a believer in monogamy because I want my friend Jeff, who he and I are we've been working on doing this relationship radio show for a long time, but he was under the weather last week, so he said couldn't do it. So I was like, I was gonna see if I could find somebody else, because he and I have had conversations around, him feeling like he's a king and he deserves a queen, and it's only him and her, and so like a staunch contrast to what I think. So, but when I put the post up looking for a co-host, a lot of people responded and they're like, yeah, I'm down to come on and talk about that, and you shouldn't just focus on monogamy. And clearly they missed the boat, because the focus wasn't on monogamy. The focus was to get somebody who believed in monogamy to come on to the show to talk with me so they could give the opposite opinion, right? So if you follow me at least a little bit, I started my Mojo Knows virtual book club, and we reading the 5 love languages because that's my joint, and I told everybody that they should read it. So the 5 love languages talks about the fact that a person has a love tank, like, right, this is emotional love tank inside of you, and you need to learn the person that you're dealing with. You need to know what their love language is, because you need to be filling their tank with what they need, and it might not necessarily be what you need, right? Your love language might be words of affirmation, meaning you like to hear compliments and little notes and this and this and that, and that person's love language might be physical touch, right? But if you ain't there and y'all not, and it's not just like touch during sex, because a lot of times that's what people think of, but just physical touch in general. And if you join me at 2 o'clock on my Mojo Knows place, we reading through the whole book, so you'll be able to understand the differences in the 5 love languages and how you deal with people according to what their love language is. But so when it comes to monogamy and polyamory, so for people who don't know or understand, a lot of times people, when I say polyamory, people think polygamy, a man with 100 wives, or a man with 2-3 wives, or polyandry, which is a woman that has multiple husbands. But polyamory is maybe, you can consider it like the umbrella. Polyamory is just many, literally the meaning many loves, the ability to love more than one person. And the reason why I always want to discuss it is because a lot of people feel like you can't love more than one person, or you can't be in love with more than one person, and I disagree. And that's based on years of experience. That's based on watching the dynamics of relationships. That's based on books I've read. I mean, it's a bunch of information that brings me to that mind space where I remember somebody posted a meme in a group that I was in recently, and it said, if a woman, um, if a woman has sex with another man, does that mean that does she still love her husband? Or does that mean that she doesn't love her husband? Something like that. And people, or can a woman have sex with another man and still love her husband? And people was going crazy on this post, like, no, you can only love one person, and if she's sleeping with somebody else, then she a hoe. That's always the perception from the female side. We know it's a double standard. Like, men, you sleep with multiple women, it's nothing. If women do it, it's a whole other dynamic. But we'll get into that in a whole nother conversation. But it was just like, no, she can't possibly love her husband and have sex with somebody else, or be with somebody else. Or, so I posted something along the lines of, yeah, she could. And you have the ability to love more than one person at a time. Oh my God. You know, they thought they was gonna go in on me, but they don't understand my debate skills. So they're like, no, you might be able to love more people, but you can't be in love with more than one person. And if it's just sex and it's not love, and you can't love more than one person. And I was like, how can you possibly? Dave says that double standard comes from females mostly. That's not true, because a lot of men are like, what? You sleeping with somebody else and you sleeping with me? You're a hoe. So it doesn't just come from women. It comes from men mostly, because men have their judgment about, in my opinion, that's what I'm saying. In my opinion, men have this perception that, you belong to me and only me. You can't possibly want to deal with somebody else. And if you do, you're a hoe. So anyway, so I'm on this post, and I'm like, so this is what I said. I said, just like if you are a parent and you have one child and then you have a second child, do you love the first child less just because you had the second child? Or are you able to love both children equally? And of course, people try to flip on me like, but it's different. That you can't compare the love of a parent to relationship love. You're right. It is different. But does that mean that because it's a different kind of love, it can't be shared? Like, you can't, like, just because I have a connection or an attraction or any type of anything with somebody else, doesn't mean that takes away from what I have for you. Doesn't mean I love you no less. Doesn't mean you're not doing something. It doesn't mean any of these things. But that's a lot of people's perception. A lot of people feel like a person, if you want to be with somebody else besides your husband or the person that you're with, then that means you don't really love them, or they're not doing something that you need. And I don't necessarily agree with that. It's just, there are differences. And what if it is a situation like that? Like, say your love tank isn't full for whatever reason with the person that you're with. Why is it wrong to have that tank filled by somebody else? As long as you're open and honest. See, that's the thing that people don't get about polyamory. Is about ethical non-monogamy. It's not, if you cheating on your husband or cheating on your wife and they don't know, that's cheating. That's not polyamory. That is cheating. You're being deceptive. You're not being truthful. You're sneaking behind your wife or husband or girlfriend or boyfriend or whatever back and being with somebody else and they don't know. That's cheating. That's not polyamory. But if you are in a relationship and y'all can be open and honest about how y'all feel and the possibility that you might feel something for somebody else, and that's okay. People, the biggest thing is people don't understand that monogamy and commitment are two different things. I'll say again, monogamy and commitment are two different things. You can be committed to somebody and your purpose and whatever it is that you're doing together, whatever family y'all building, whatever y'all doing, whatever you're doing together, you can be totally committed to that and not be monogamous. They're not synonyms. It's not the same thing. If you look it up, if you look up the word commitment, you look up the word loyal, you look up the word faithful, like, because people have connected the two for so long, people have the perception that faithful or commit. I go with the word committed because that's what you're doing in whatever established relationships that you have. We've committed to being together. We've committed to raising these kids. We've committed to building a business. We've committed to building this strong family so that we can build a strong community. Whatever it is that you've committed to together, that doesn't mean that's not an automatic you have to be monogamous. They're not the same thing. You can be committed and not be monogamous. And that's the part that people miss. And it's not even just about sex. Like, that's of course, that's people's focus, right? They're like, you want to be with or spend time with somebody else, it's about sex. And then there's some people that's on the other side of the spectrum, like, I don't care if my wife have sex with somebody else, but she can't be like, you know, all bunned up, boo loving and texting a dude, talk about I miss you and I wish you was here and all of that, because then she's emotionally attached to somebody else. But what if she is emotionally attached to somebody else? Why is it that people feel like you can't be emotionally attached to more than one person? Why is that? I just don't understand why people feel that you can't. And over the years, in my years of experience, like, I've been around for a minute, you can. As much as people try to deny it, you can feel like you can't be all the way open and honest with the partner that you're with because they ain't having it, right? Like, most of the time, it's if a person has any type of inkling or feeling to want to be with somebody else, they can't go to their wife or their husband and be like, babe, I met this guy. They're going to go out. We're going to see what's up. They're going to be like, what? Because it's socialized and it's ingrained in us that marriage and commitment and all that is just two people. Even though historically, I mean, Bible believers, they know it's been in the Bible that people are, you know, this person had this many wives, but it's always polygamy. It's never been even the thought or the option of a woman possibly having feelings for somebody besides her husband. It's like this king or this person had this many wives, and so it's okay. But there are so many different forms of polyamory. It's people that just have sex with other people, like husband and wives that are swingers, and they just have sex with other people, but their emotional attachments are only them. And then it's people that have different kinds of emotional attachments to different people. I could have a partner, friend, whatever, that I see that we don't have sex, but we spend time together and enjoy it and have fun. But your partner is all in the communication between you and your partner and their perception of what you're doing. Like I said, some people are just like, I'm okay if is this from a historical aspect or a new idea. When you say this, you mean polyamory, or I'm just going from my aspect, Mojo's aspect. Like, I'm not going on history, even though historically people have been in relationships where there are more than two partners. There are societies in different countries in Africa or different countries in India where women have more husbands, more than one husband. And then there's societies where men have multiple wives. That's what people mostly see. When they think of poly anything, it's usually polygamy, a man with 2 wives or 3 wives or whatever, and that's what they show on TV, right? Like Big Love or what's this? I can't remember the name of the show on Lifetime with the man with his 4 wives or whatever. That's the perception you always see. But it's not just that. But the thought of being able to be open and honest about whatever it is you feel with the partner that you're with. And if that means that you have this type of connection or you feel some energy or some type of feeling or something, Sister Wives, that's the name of the show. Thank you, Kim. I'm like, why I can't? But there's a show now called Brother Husbands where the lady had a husband and they was together, and then she made this connection with this dude, and then she got pregnant with this dude and had triplets, and now they all together in the house. I think that's on Lifetime too. It's called Brother Husbands. Of course, because somewhere along the line, somebody's going to want to show the opposite side of anything. But I think it's just about being open and honest. Like, but everybody can't take that openness. Like, every husband is not okay with the thought that his wife might possibly be feeling somebody else. And that's just stuck in our beliefs that we've always had, right? Our beliefs of monogamy that we've grown up in. If you grew up in the church, or even if you didn't, it's always been the perception that marriage is one man, one woman, and if you even think about the possibility of liking somebody else, then you're wrong. You're not wrong. That's just like I was saying. If you have this emotional love tank, right? If you're with your husband and your emotional tank is full, right? He loves you to death. He makes you feel the way you need to feel. Y'all have as much sex as you want to have. Your bills are paid. Y'all got the family. Y'all doing whatever. If your love tank is filled, why does it matter if he's with somebody else? If your tank is full, you're good. Why does it matter if he's with somebody? And the same thing with men. If your wife is everything to you, she there every night, y'all have sex when you want to, because stop acting like everybody want to have sex every day, because they don't. Y'all have sex as much as you want to. She take care of the house. She take care of the kids. Everything good. You feel loved. You feel appreciated. You feel like the man. Your love tank is full. Why does it matter what other connections she could possibly have? How is that taken away from you and what you two have? If your tank is full, you're happy. You know why? Because there are wives and husbands who are happy in their marriages and then find out that their husband was sleeping with somebody else. And now everything explodes. Everything explodes. Little Jamal can't wake up with his father there every day because mom found out that her husband was sleeping with somebody. Mind you, she was fine. She was fine. She was happy. They spend all the time together. Her bills is paid. Everything is good. But now she found out that her husband slept with somebody else or has a connection to somebody else or has a relationship with somebody else. And now everything falls. Why is that? Somebody answer that question. Because your tank is full. You're good. You was good. And now my only problem is the deception. Right? Like, you really was over there with this chick and you was probably had your face in a place last night and then you come home to me like it's nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like, the deception of it. But it's also a place where people feel like you couldn't possibly be real with. I know husbands that I talk to all the time. They're like, nah, my wife ain't having it. They feel like they can't have that open and honest conversation. They can't have that open and honest conversation with the partner that they have because they not having it. Or they gonna leave because they feel like, why do you want to? Why am I not enough? Why do you want somebody else? Why are you even thinking about somebody else? Why ask why? Drink but drive. Like, if you are content and happy with what you have, with the person that you're with, why does it matter that they establish any type of connection with anybody else? And on the conversely, if I'm not happy, if my tank is not full, but I don't want to lose you. I love you. I mean, even though we because sometimes people don't understand their partner's love language and therefore are not filling their tank, and I encourage people to have conversations and talk so that you can be open and honest about what's going on, right? But if I'm able to establish a connection with someone else and it doesn't take away from the connection that I have with you, why is that not okay? Like, prime example, put it outside of the lovey-dovey romantic. 'Cause I'm a sports chick, right? So I used to date this dude. He was the bomb, but he wasn't into sports at all. No trying to go to no basketball games. No, like y'all know I used to do. If you know me, I did a sports radio talk show. He not trying to be on the show. He not trying to talk. He not trying to watch Sports Center in the morning. None of that, right? If I establish a relationship, friendship, whatever you want to call it, with a fellow sports lover, and we hang out and spend time and go to games together and go to sports bars and hang out, but it's not taken away from what I do with you, because you don't want to go to the sports bar anyway, and you don't want to go to the game anyway, and he got front row, middle, you know what I'm saying, middle of the court tickets to go to the game, and why can't I go? Why can't that be a regular connection that I have and you be okay with that? Why? Because it's about possession. It's about you my wife. You don't supposed to be out doing whatever. Wives feel the same way. The biggest thing you always hear, and you have conversations about polyamory or polygamy or whatever, women be like, I'm not sharing it. I'm not sharing my husband. I'm not sharing a dick. I'm not sharing this. I'm not sharing. But it's like, if you're okay, if what you have in your relationship is okay, if he somehow establishes a connection with somebody else, why is that not okay? Somebody give me your opinion. And if you're a person who believes in monogamy, give me a reason why you feel like your wife shouldn't be able to have a relationship with somebody else. Because we could go all the way to the other extreme, right? Because we talked about if it's non-sexual things, right? Like going to a game or anything that you like or you want to do regularly that your partner doesn't want to do. And you found a friend, partner, whatever, that does. But what about you go to your husband or your wife and you say, I want to try this in the bedroom. Whatever it is. Whether y'all know the possible extremes on any sides of the spectrum when it comes to sexuality and relationships. So you go to your wife and you say, I want to try this. And she's like, hell no. I'm not doing that. Right? What are you supposed to do with that desire? It doesn't go away. Everybody is just like, you just supposed to stifle it. You just supposed to let it go because your wife said no or your husband said no. You just supposed to let it go. The desire doesn't go away. The curiosity for wanting to know what it's about or wanting to try it doesn't go away. So what are you supposed to do with it? You just supposed to be like, fuck it. She said no or he said no. So, oh well. Really? That's how people die early. Like, keeping shit in and letting stuff fester, whatever it is, from one extreme to the next, whether it's feelings, whether it's a certain act, whatever it is. Kim, it is one-sided, because a lot of times, there are a lot, and we all know some man that's like, oh, well, I'm doing whatever. I cheated on my wife and she took me back, but if she cheat on me, I'm out. What? And I'm not on no, y'all know I'm not on no feminist, what's good for the geese is good for the candle. Like, that's not even it. It's just whatever works for you in your relationship is nobody else's business. If y'all a married couple that brings in a third every 5th anniversary, you know what I'm saying? Or y'all go swinging every Saturday, whose business is it? As long as you're happy with what you're doing. Just like if your relationship is, people consider it like polyamory, open relationships. If you're okay with it, your partner's okay with it, y'all open and honest, y'all keep it real. Most people are like, oh no, I can never. What would my mother say? What would my father say? What would my brothers and sisters look at me like I'm crazy? Like, I had the conversation with somebody that I really care about that recently got married, and they're like, yo, Mo, you be talking this polyamory and being with other people's husbands and this and this and that, and that's crazy, because I just got married, and like making me think like, what am I doing wrong, or am I doing something wrong, or should I be seeing things in a different way? And it's just like, there are people that you in a relationship with one person and you're good, just like people who are polyamorous can be in a relationship with one person and be good. But you have the understanding that you have the possibility and the option to establish a connection with somebody else, and that's okay. It doesn't mean that you, like, I know somebody that I was dealing with at one time said, yeah, you know, Mojo, you all free and loose with it. I was like, well, I gotta be loose. Like, contrary to your understanding, you was the only person I was sleeping with at the time. You know what I'm saying? But because I say I'm polyamorous and I'm open to possibility, he like, you mad free and loose. I was like, you know me, my whole perception when you say something I don't like is your mother. But that's just Mojo. Women are capable of having a more successful polyamorous relationship, in my opinion. I mean, when you say women are capable, you mean have a polyamorous relationship? Well, they gotta have the polyamorous relationship with a man. Well, no. Whoa. Reverse. They don't have to have the polyamorous relationship with a man, because people is all over the place with who they sleep with, and that's their business. But when you say they're more capable of a more successful polyamorous relationship, what does that mean? Y'all keep me on a time check, because I'm supposed to clock in at 10 o'clock. Ooh, the sun. It's beaming on me. See? I'm sun gazing with y'all today. That's what's up. It's better than being inside. But, like, people have this perception, we will make sure that everyone is happy. I do believe that. But there are men that are open, that are, like, I belong to a lot of polyamorous groups. I belong to Sanu, why you saying this a lot? I love it. That's why we need to have this conversation live, because Sanu said, Kim, that's a damn lie. And I'm like, why do you feel like it's a lie, Sanu? You feel like what's a lie? That women are more capable, or that women make sure that everyone is happy? This is why I told y'all we need to have a nice, long 2-hour conversation, 3-hour conversation. Like, when I used to do my radio show, right? We did a radio show about sports. We did a radio show about black life and survival training, because Surviving in America is a whole class in itself. And you will be surprised how quickly 2 hours go by. Like, before you know it, the 2 hours is over. And it's like the conversations used to still go for I had a good 1 hour, like 2 hours and 30 minutes. Like, keep going. But it's just to be continued. And I think I'm going to start up again doing my shows on Tuesday nights. And so, you have a good 2 hour conversation. And if it's something that we need to discuss more, we just get back into it the next week. But people have their opinions about marriage, right? Like, just like the whole debate about same-sex marriage, right? And I don't even get into who you marry is your business. But part of the biggest argument in that debate was they made the law based on the fact that the Bible says that marriage is between a man and a woman. But it's supposed to be separation of church and state. So how can you make a law based on something from the Bible when everybody don't believe in the Bible? You know what I'm saying? That's what they use as their premise to argue against same-sex marriage, which is a whole nother show in itself. But my thing is, like, you made this argument based on the Bible and what the Bible says. Marriage is one man and one woman. So no two men can't get married and no two women can't get married. But what if I'm a person who don't believe in your Bible, but I still can marry who the hell I want to marry? It don't make no sense. Like, you can't make a law based on the Bible when there's a bunch of people in this country that don't believe in the Bible or don't subscribe to the teachings of the Bible. But that law doesn't affect them. And in the same vein, if you make it okay for same-sex marriage, then you got to open it up to other marriage, right? Polyamorous marriage. So now it shouldn't be illegal for this man to have two wives or this woman to have two husbands, because you said it's equal. People should be able to marry who they want to marry, right? But that, like I said, that's a whole other show. But my whole thing is, like, if you and your partner have a discussion and you agree that it's okay for you to establish relationships, connections, whatever kind of connections they are, with somebody else, whose business is it? It's nobody's business. It really isn't. And just because I establish a relationship with somebody else does not mean that it takes anything away from the relationship that you and I have. It doesn't take away from, I don't love you less because I love somebody else. I really don't. Like, but that's a hard thing for people to grasp. Like, seriously. People are just like, hell no. She can't be with me. She don't love me if she's saying, I'm doing a time check, she don't love me if she trying to love somebody else. Why? Why is relationship type love, can you love those two equally? Yes, I believe that. Why? Because I can love my 6 children equally, even though a child is always going to argue, that's your favorite, whatever. It's not. You know why I say that, Sanu? Because if you have the capacity, just because relationship love is loving equally is painful. Why is it painful? It doesn't have to. What does that mean? I don't even know if it's what does equal mean, though? What does loving two or more people equally mean? If you said loving equally is painful, I think that everyone should start with their own love tank full before any relationship, monogamous or polyamorous. But most of us don't. Is the problem. But Kim, even if your love tank, your self-love tank, you know what I'm saying, is full, that's different from what you need emotionally from relationships. Like, I totally agree with how people should love themselves, but it's still if you're in a relationship with somebody, you have needs that you feel need to be fulfilled in that relationship with that person. And that's the love tank that I mean. Not just loving you. That's not what I mean. I mean, when you talk about love tank, it's like the emotional needs that you have from a relationship. And everybody has them. Like if you when we meet me at 2:00 so we can finish reading the 5 love languages. If you think about the way that you love and the way that you show love and the way that you feel love, you might be showing your partner love based on the way that you feel love, but that might not be the way that they feel love. And that's something separate from you loving yourself. It's totally separate. So if my love language is quality time, the crazy thing is I take the test over and over again, and I come out with the same score for physical touch and quality time, equal every time at the top of the list. So those are my 2 primary love languages. So I'm very much, give me your undivided attention and feel on me, and I'm good. Literally. Quality time is about giving somebody your undivided attention, and physical touch is just touch. It's not just sexual, but touch in general. But, so, of course you should start in a relationship with somebody else as a whole person, and not, you know what I'm saying, needing somebody else's the relationship with somebody else, or that to validate you or make you feel whole with all of that, right? But the love tank scenario analogy makes sense, because if my love language is quality time, right, and your love language is acts of service, so you do a bunch of acts of service for me because that's how you feel loved. But that shit don't mean nothing to me. Like, yeah, I get it. I appreciate that you did that, but that's not what makes me feel loved. So, in this relationship, I'm running on E. You trying to fill me up with premium unleaded when I take diesel. I take diesel. Right? That's when I say in relationships, the love tank that's being filled is that relationship love tank. And when Sanu says, can you love 2 people equally? And you still ain't answer me, Sanu, with I need you, when you respond in this thread, you can't write a whole paragraph, because then I'm just waiting. Do like a sentence or 2 at a time so that we can keep the conversation rolling. But the last thing Sanu said was that loving equally is painful. And we still haven't had a response to that. Like, what do you mean when you say that loving equally is painful? I'm a believer of the more love, the merrier. But, you know, maybe I'm in this fantasy world of I could be okay with having more people. Right. Like, how do you measure love? And this is what I'm saying. It's all in you, how you feel. If you in a relationship and you are happy, you're not feeling neglected, you're not feeling that you're missing something, you're not feeling unloved, you're not feeling like you need anything, then if I'm giving whatever to whoever else, why does that matter if you're getting what you need? It shouldn't matter. You're getting what you need out of the relationship. Whatever it is. Yo, it's some people in relationships that don't want certain things or don't need certain things. It's just like, I see polygamous relationships, right? With men that have multiple wives. And they have some young wives. And they have some older wives. And they got some older wives that just want to be a part of the family because they want to be around younger women who still having babies, and they can't have babies no more, and they feel this connection and community with the women and the men, and she ain't even trying to really have sex no more because she ain't feeling it. Like, people always focus on Giving more than one individual the same type of affection, emotion, and submission. Why is that painful? You still not telling me why it is seen as painful. And Kim, possession is a huge word in this conversation. Because most of the time when you hear people that have a problem, they like, nah, my wife ain't, nah, I ain't having it. My wife can't sleep with somebody, or my husband, or I'm not sharing my dick, or I'm not doing that. Like, it's always my possession. Like, you don't own nobody. You measure equality by asking question, Kim, who do you love? Why you gotta ask that question? Why? If I say I love you, what reason do you have to ask me if I love somebody else? It's hard to neglect tenure. It depends. It depends on how you see it. You've been with this person for a long time, so now this new person comes into the circle. Maybe this new person don't want tenure. Maybe this person, who do you love more? Why do we need to ask that question? Why do we need to ask, who do you love more? And what does that mean? What does it mean more? What if you're in a relationship with Monique and Kim, why does Kim or Monique have to ask you, who do you love more? And what does that mean? When you ask that question, what you trying to get out of it? I love Monique more. What? Why? How? What's the more? What determines the more or the less? That's where we have the problem. Focusing on, why the hell is you focused on the other person? And oh, I lost connection. Okay, I'm back. Why are we focused on who you love more? What does it make? If I love you and you feel that I love you, I treat you the way you want to be treated. I sex you down the way you want to be sexed down. I put in time. We do everything. I raise your kids the way you want them raised. I submit the way you want. Like, why do we even have the who do you love more question? For what? That's about, I really feel like it's about possession. Why does it have to be a more or less situation? I love you and you love me. Do you feel like I love you? Do I treat you like do you feel neglected by me? Do you feel not loved by me? And if you say that you're not feeling loved by me, is it based on the fact that you know that I have a connection with somebody else? Not that you missing nothing. Or not that you feel less loved. Is you're saying, I feel like you don't love me the same. What is that based on? Is it based on the time you putting in? Is it based on the how much y'all have sex? Is it based on anything? Like, what is who loves who more based on? Like, I meet people that, like, there are couples who want to bring in a third, right? They trying to establish these relationships with other people. And they say, we're a couple looking for a woman, because a lot of times in polyamorous situations, it's still masculinity driven. The man is only allowing it because he wanted the possibility of having two women. That's it. It's out there. I mean, that's the truth. It's not necessarily about building strong relationships with more than one person. It's about, he feels like he'll only open his relationship to women because, one, he doesn't feel threatened by his woman being involved with a woman, and he sees the possibility of him being able to be with two women at one time. right? But a lot of times, like Sanu was talking about, not being able to deny tenure. Me as a person, I feel like I can't go into those type of relationships or connections, because I don't want to be devalued as a person, or whatever connection or feelings that you establish with me it can only be minimal or whatever, because you've been with this person for however many years. Of course, I respect the fact that y'all been married for 10 years and you have ABC, and I'm not trying to cause a problem with that. But don't make it seem like if a person is made to feel less than or less important, that's a problem. And yeah, Kim, that does turn a lot of women off, because people have their own motives, their own views of why they go into polyamorous connections. It's not just a lot of times men are like, yeah, we could bring another woman into this, but you can't even think about trying to talk to another man. That's crazy. First of all, don't tell me what I could do with my life. And that's a huge part. Like, it's about possession. All you can do is dictate how I love you, how I deal with you. And not even dictate, but we deal with and discuss and establish how I connect with you. You can't establish how I connect with somebody else. What you can do is say, Monique, be open and honest about your desire to connect with somebody else and what you're doing. People have different levels. Some people want all the details. And then other people are just like, okay, yeah, I know that you have connections with other people, but I don't need the details. Some people have what they call kitchen table polyamory, meaning people that's in the same polycule. Look it up. That's a good word. It's like the way molecules look and how people are connected. A polycule is like that. It's like a visual picture of the connections that you create and the connections that you have. But people have people in their polycule, their circle or whatever, that's like I have a connect, or like I said, kitchen table polyamory is me, you, and your partner, your other partner can sit down and have a discussion together. We could go out on dates together. We could eat together. We could like sitting at the kitchen table, right? Whereas it's other people that have like I'm in a relationship with you, and I know you're in a relationship with that person, but we don't have this kumbaya, everybody can be together in the same space. And that's fine, because how you establish your relationships and your connections is your business. But when you try to dictate what the other person could do in your relationship, then it might be. And of course, like if you in a relationship and you decide to entertain the possibility of other people, it's you have your I hate to say rules, but what you guys agree to or establish between the two of you, and as long as y'all both cool with it, that's on you. You know what I'm saying? But a lot of times those rules are restrictive. Men be like, oh yeah, you could deal with another woman, but you can't be with another man. So if I happen to establish some type of connection with another man, what am I supposed? I'm supposed to just be like, nah, I can't do that. But we're polyamorous. You wildin', homie. Like, I can't. But if she's okay with it, like some people are like, I'm a woman and I'm okay with him being with another woman, and this woman could come into our bed and it could all be all one big happy family. Like, some people are okay with that. Some people are like, I know that you have relationships or connections with other people, but I don't need no details. I just know, you going out or you doing whatever. I don't need the details. And there's some people do, right? It's so many different variations, and it's not up to me to dictate how it goes down. But I think I want people to go away from I want people to take away from this conversation Have you ever been in a successful poly? Oh, yeah. Yeah, because if I'm open and honest from the front, then it's successful. Like, that's what I said I was going to tell a story. So, I met this guy. He's married, right? So we were taking this class together. And the class was like 8 weeks. So, I think that his wife didn't want him to take the class. She wanted him to do something else. Go back to whatever his regular job was. Because this class was like 9 to 5 straight for 8 weeks. So this dude was doing class in the day, had a full-time night job, plus was driving Uber on the side just because this class was what he really wanted to do, right? And me and him got cool during the class, and he was open about the fact that, like, she wasn't supportive. Like, we had the graduation, and he was one of the only people at the graduation with no family. Like, you my wife, and you not gonna come through for me? Like, even if you don't agree with what I'm doing, like, you don't agree with what I did, you still, like, you not supportive, or we on the outs, we ready to break up because I didn't do what you wanted me to do. And so me and him got cool, and I felt like he needed that support to get through that class and get that certification and pass, and for him to be able to go on to the next level. So it was like being a temporary wife, not in a physical sense, but just like supportive. We down, you know what I'm saying? Like, we hang out, we talk, we had late night study sessions, we did breakfast together every day. And we've established a connection / friendship that will be forever, because I was there. Like, he was a king that needed a supportive queen in that space, and his wife wasn't trying to be that person because she didn't agree with what he was doing. Me as a person, I felt like that doesn't mean that he didn't need it, and I was available to do it, so I did. And people are just like, how can you be, get emotionally connected with somebody else's husband? And because I established connections with people that wound up going on for a very long time, and they still together. They got past that I got him past that hump because we graduated together. He got his certification. He did exactly what he needed to do for that 8 weeks. And we still friends. We talk, you know what I'm saying? We hang out sometimes. And was his wife mad that he established a connection with another woman? Most definitely. But I just felt like he needed that support in that space. And I've had discussions about this so many times, and people are like, that's that bullshit, Monique, and you don't need to be dealing with nobody else's husband, and he was the... Okay, I got a friend for life. Like, that's my dude all day. He gonna be, because I was there. I was there for him when he needed somebody to be there for. Like, he was going hard. When I tell you, falling asleep in class because he worked at night and was driving Uber in the morning before he got there, and he, like, wouldn't have got through the class, wouldn't have got the certification if I didn't hold him up in that space. That's how I feel. And people feel like it's wrong. People feel like it's wrong that we still cool and we still friends. His wife probably feel like, but I'm just like, I ain't trying to cause y'all no. That's why I be like, we don't hang out like now. We don't hang out much. We talk once in a while, but it's like, I ain't trying to cause you no problems, but y'all got way bigger problems than me supporting you through whatever it is you was trying to do. If she didn't support you as your wife just because you was doing something that she didn't want you to do, that's a whole other issue that you got that don't got nothing to do with me. But I just felt like he needed support in that space, and I did it, and I'm okay with it, because I feel like people can establish connections with different people. Now, did me and him have a conversation where I said that my face is sweating. It's hot. The sun is, I mean, I love the sun, but dang. Did we have a conversation where I said to him, like, we can't really continue to be real close and hang out, and it's in a behind your wife's back type of situation, because that's not ethical on my part, right? Like, if I'm saying that I do ethical non-monogamy, but I'm a party to you not being ethical and you not being open and honest with your wife, then even though it's not on me to be open and honest with her, but I'm a party to your, you know what I'm saying, your craziness, because you have this connection with somebody else that your wife is probably not okay with. And so yeah, we can't be as close as we were or cool as we are without you being able to be open and honest with your wife about that. That's just how I felt. And just like because the reality of the situation is, if you're cheating, right? As much as people try to deny the validity of the side chick or the side dude, I guess because it's secret, you know, a lot of times people have real feelings. And that's why I'm so much more of a proponent of being open and honest as opposed to cheating and being secretive. Because I think about it this way, like, and just like if I say I love this person, right? But I'm in a relationship with them, but they're married or they're in a relationship with somebody else, so nobody knows that we are in this relationship or have this connection. And then they die, right? Either I'm not going to know or be invited to the funeral because they don't know me. His family don't know me like that to invite me, right? Or two, I go to the funeral and I got a front like I'm a coworker or a friend when the person that I love just died. Like, I say that again. If you have this secret relationship with somebody and they die, you have to go to the funeral as a friend, a coworker. You can't grieve this person that you love the way you would if your relationship was open and honest, because it's a secret and you're cheating. That's crazy. That's how people die early. I said that before, right? Like, holding shit in. Like, you can't effectively grieve the person that you love and or were in love with if y'all had a secret relationship. Conversely, if you guys have good experiences, right? If y'all have good times, y'all make good memories, y'all do ABC, but y'all in a space, it does happen a lot, Kim, and that's fucked up. Like, if y'all have good times and good memories, I can't post pictures on Facebook with my peoples. Like, I can't gush about this dope weekend that we had in the mountains or whatever. I can't express my love openly because this connection is a secret. Nah, homie. That's crazy. It's crazy that you have to do that. Even though people do it, it's crazy that people have to do that. And I just feel like if we can get to a space where you can be open and honest about whatever feelings you have about another person, we'll be better off. Oh, Sanu, good looking out. It's 10:02. Y'all, I'll be back at 2 o'clock so we can read the 5 love languages. You know, I love y'all. I cook food. And this was a good one. And I told y'all we're going to have to do it on the radio show for a 2-hour show so we can really get it in. I love y'all. Follow my page, the Mojo Knows page, because I do my readings over there. And share this video just to start some conversation. You know what I'm saying? And see what people's opinions are. And then we'll go from there. I love y'all. I see y'all at 2 o'clock. All right. Bye.